Hey, Family Forward Project, how are you? I'm going to tag a few people in here. It's Wednesday afternoon, the 31st of March. The first quarter of 2021 is over. To join you, well, we'll try that, okay? Let's see. Tag a few people. Nope, they've changed everything here. Let's see. Tag. Oh, let me tag. Oh, tag. Hang on, I found it. Facebook changed it. Tag a few of you folks in here, see if anybody's sitting around having pizza right about now. This crazy world. How's your crazy world going out there? It's like any horror happen? I mean, what good is there? It's just so nuts. We don't even know from one day to the next. Every time I hear something new, every day, that's like more disastrous than the day before. Seriously. So just a couple things I want to talk about real quick while I have time. I'm usually working until about 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night, just trying to dig into getting things done because I'm trying to work two different things going on at the same. Trying to do a little law practice and also doing a lot of advocacy. So watching what's going on in the state legislators. Of course, DC is just like crazy nuts. Nothing really important's happening there anymore. It's like a big 8th grade bully fest, really. It's just like a big 8th grade bully fest, so, in DC. However, we're going to go to DC, a few of us, coming up in April. I don't know what we're going to do anymore. But anyway, okay, so I have a few of you tagged in here. Hope you guys can see it. If not, come on later, whatever. Again, Wednesday, March the 31st. All right, so are you ready? That's enough. Okay, we'll see if anybody can hop on here. So a couple things I wanted to share with you. First of all, it is, I hope it's not too noisy. It seems to be rush hour around here, and I'm not that far from the highway, so it's kind of loud. And I did watch the Texas state of Texas legislative hearing on a new bill that they're trying to get passed on medical kidnapping. There were several people who went and testified. I've captured some of it. It's not the best video. It is the official video from the assembly, and of course it's the back of the head of all the people who are testifying, and it's kind of far away, but you can hear them very well. So I've captured a few of those. I am going to post them either through YouTube or share them, and then I'm going to get some of the folks down in Texas, either Melissa or Jim or somebody, to start making me a list maybe of those people so we can get their statements on better so you can see them. One of the important things about watching this is specifically medical kidnapping. Yes, Mary, sure. Time is the challenge, but yes, ma'am. So with medical kidnapping, a lot of this is about the child abuse experts, which were certified in 2009 by the American Medical Association. These families were all challenged by misdiagnosis. I mean, they had criminal court cases pending against them. Some of them had to file bankruptcy. Some of them nearly lost their jobs. They were in the healthcare field. It's cold out here, sorry. And it's really heartbreaking. I've had several of these cases. It's really hard to find an attorney who will fight them, because for an attorney, you have to learn the medicine to be able to properly cross-examine the doctors. And it's like, we're family law attorneys. We're not medical malpractice attorneys. So the cases that I've had to dig and dig and dig and dig. I have a binder of research that I've done on fragile bone and infantile rickets. So it's really hard to find an attorney who'll cover that. So I'm really happy that they were able to do that in Texas, and we need to get those stories. Also, another good reason for you listening to a couple of these is because when you do a legislative presentation, they usually want you to do it in 3 minutes. And I always say, if you have a time limit like that, 3 minutes, you need to write it down and you need to rehearse it. Some of the people had it written down. A couple people just tried to wing it, and it's always too difficult when you just try to wing it. So, so write that story down every time story comes up a little bit different, then you the tale needs to be a little different, right? Or that every time the audience is a little bit different, then you need a little bit different story. So, but it's really good to watch. There are a couple things though I noticed that did not come up, and I'm going to talk to the people in Texas because this needs to be part of the narrative. What they did not talk about was how much money these children's hospitals are getting from the state agencies. I know in the state of Tennessee, and especially Middle Tennessee, Vanderbilt gets $4 million a year from the Department of Children's Services. Oh, and listen to this. Okay, so I hope some people who've had to deal with Dr. Lowen listen to this. Dr. Deborah Lowen, the child abuse pediatrician monster at Vanderbilt, is now working for the Department of Children's Services. Imagine that. Yeah, she's like their medical director now. Imagine that. Yeah. So I don't know why. It seems like she'd make more money as a doctor than working for the state, but she's probably doing both. She's probably got her hands in both pockets, and I'm going to find out about that. So, but she is now employed by Jenny Lane. President Trump follows me now. That's great, Jenny. Yeah, I watch you all the time. Okay, so watching what's going on in Texas. In Arkansas, the state legislature is looking at a shared parenting bill. You know, this is always a challenge because it's so hard to set these formulas before the courts when it comes to families and making decisions about kids' lives. It's just always a challenge. I mean, I truly believe both parents need to participate in a kid's life, but we've got to really, if we're going to do that, we've got to really take serious the psychological effect of children and their relationship with their parents. And I don't have the perfect formula for that. I have to admit it, but I know that it's different, and it's so important that for the proper development of kids that we're paying attention to who their relationships are with. So thank you, Andrea. Andrea, I've got another little chore for you to do for me. So send me a private message to remind me, just another list, a short list I need you to put together for me. So we are, I'm watching Arkansas. All right. So in Tennessee, I put in a bill for a family advocate. They're like churning over it. They don't even want to talk about it. I do see it's on the calendar for the April the 7th. So I'm going to go ahead and call down there and see if they'll let me come and talk. You know, they have a love-hate relationship with me because they know I know what I'm talking about, but they do not want to hear what I have to say. So that is still kind of out there. It's still pending. I don't know what's going to happen, but God just said put it out there. So God tells me to do something I learned about 15 years ago. I just go do it, okay? So I put that bill out there for a family advocate. North Carolina. In North Carolina, they have a bill out there for some big changes to the department. It was sent to me by Sarah Carter. I have not had the time to really sit down and study it, but it at least is a bill that's out there that's looking at changes in the child welfare system. So those are, I know in Iowa, they had a couple bills they were trying to kick through. They get good response and bad response. I work with Nick Drezen and Nancy Augustine out there, try to follow what they do. Having a hard time watching all of it, but they're actually working at the state level. So we need people, I'm telling you, at the state level, I need helpers at the state level to get some kind of bill in. And you know what? It's a little bit of work, but it's kind of worth it if you can make something happen. If you can make just one little change happen in the system, it's totally worth it, right? And I know I've been just plugging along and kicking the can for 20 years, and I have made some changes. It's just they're not huge, but you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So you've got to start helping me eat this elephant, because I cannot chug down a whole elephant on my own. I'm going to put this out there about a position that I found. There is a position out there for a person to be a political strategist and campaign strategist to repeal ASFA, okay, the Adoption and Safe Families Act. So all know that my defunding ASFA was like our big message starting in August, when we went up there in August. And of course, you all know that I've been going to DC since about 2016. You know, you are welcome to come when we go there. It's great to meet people. It's kind of clumsy sometimes, and some people, yeah, thank you, Wendy. You're right. And I'm going to talk about that again in a minute, and I'm going to give a shout out to Rebecca. But so DC, think about coming to DC. Hopefully it's not going to be a city under siege forever, and we can get out and walk the halls again and walk in those doors. And it was partly because of our efforts that the Families First Preservation and Services Act went into effect, because we just kept knocking on the doors. Right. So we can now say Family Forward Project has over 15,000 members nationwide. I think we would have more, but Facebook just keeps bumping people out of our group. So every time we get to about 15,000, Facebook takes about 1,000 out of it. So it's kind of a challenge. But I know I'm posting my videos on YouTube. I get a lot of people call me from finding, I always tag it CPS corruption. They remove my kids, government corruption, etc. So some people are finding me because I am taking these videos and posting them on YouTube. All right, so that's the state laws that are going down. We have out there, when I went to CPAC in February, I met Eric Carroll out of Alabama, and one of my favorites, Melissa Isaac, and I did Dad Talk Today show with them. And then I also did a show with Melissa Isaac just last week. If you didn't see that, I'll try to find the link to that. I think it's under Dad Talk Today on YouTube. And we talked about Title IV-D some, because that's also a crock, actually. And a lot of our money is wasted on that. So, and it's all part of the corrupt federal financing that's really destroying families totally. So, we are, let me see. Let me think. I can't think of any other states that I've been made aware of. So let me give you a couple little DCS updates on the drama, the saga and the drama. I will say, working with Wendy, who's watching, we have to give a shout out to Rebecca, who's like the most awesome DCS family service provider that we have ever worked with. She's like our new best friend. It's pretty amazing. She's been so responsive and bringing, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to say too much but she has been so awesome. But most important for me is she's been a communicator, and she's talked to me, and she's taken my ideas, and she's listened. She's been responsive, and I'm going to write her like a big fat letter to DCS about how awesome she has been, because they all need to follow her footsteps. She has been incredible. And if every family had a Rebecca, it'd be a whole much better place. On the other side of that, there's Miss Giovanna and Miss Ariel, who with DCS, who freaked out when I said the word policy to them this week in a meeting in my office. And you know who I'm talking about if you're watching. And I'm not going to call out names because I am protecting the privacy of my clients. But when they came to my office to have a meeting, we sat down and I asked them about the policy, about a family service policy, and about their risk assessment and the barriers to reunification, and they totally flipped out. She goes, "We're trying to cooperate with you." And I said, "You're not cooperating me. You won't even let me finish a sentence." And then they got up and ran out the door. So they could not get out of there fast enough. So that is the DCS drama for the week. All right, now, let me see. I talked to you about this position. I didn't finish that conversation. I got sidetracked because I'm trying to talk to you, and then I'm trying to watch to see if anybody has any comments or anything. So I get a little distracted. I'm sorry. And I've been in court all day today, so it's been a little rough. So this position is to find somebody to be a political strategist for repeal ASFA. I think that's so awesome. And I'm going to tell you, it is coming out of an organization for, it's broad-based, but it's coming out of an organization that supports women who have formerly been in prison. So, I mean, it comes from everywhere, you guys. It's beginning to bubble up all over the place. Yeah, the foster parents fostering 4 kids. Yeah, so Jenny, I read that note. So Jenny saw on the news about a foster family who had 4 foster children and were renting a home from the foster care agency. This is so weird, but I am going to tell you, I did see, I think it was Oklahoma, that they were building like homes for foster families, and then the foster parent was moving into the home, renting the home from the foster agency, and then with the money they got from foster care. I'm like, what the heck? So apparently they're kicking them out. I also saw on the news where they are kind of forcing these state agencies to take the immigrant children that have come in, and I don't know, there's somewhere around 16,000 immigrant children that have Washington State. Okay, thank you. Yeah, interesting. Apply for that job. So hopefully we'll see. Oh, great, Candace. Okay, we'll see. So your application versus my application, that'll be really interesting. They'll either think I'm totally crazy or perfect for the job because I just laid it all out there, everything I'd done. That's kind of it. That's kind of what's cooking right now. So we're going to Washington, D.C., April the 11th through the 15th. We have a small group we've kind of put together, probably 8 to 10 people. We hope the government buildings are going to be open. They've been closed since March 12th of last year. I was there March 12th of 2020 with Whitney Manning when they closed everything down and told us they were shutting the buildings down at 3 o'clock and not opening back up. We were there the last day that the public had access to government buildings. But we're hoping they open back up because we really need to walk the halls and say hello to these people and let them know what we want.
Gabby.
That's Anouk. Who's your favorite, Gabby? Oh, I love you. Okay,
I got back from my friend.
So, so we're going to make that trip up. There's a few other things kind of going on that I'm trying to track. Tennessee has this new organization called Tennessee Foster Hope that is put together by Governor Bill Lee. They're putting together a program. I signed up for that to be able to view that. That's going to be real interesting to see what's going on as well. How can they even be closed? How can they be closed? Yeah, they won't be open. I'm kind of feeling that, Jenny, but what we'll do if they're not open is we will call the offices, and they are doing Zoom meetings, so we'll be calling them and trying to set them up with Zoom, and actually we might get quicker appointments that way because there are not as many people walking the halls. So we had a little conference call this week, and we were looking, I was scoping around on congress.gov, and you can go there and you can type in keywords like foster care, ASFA, Families First, and you can see if there are any bills pending on those issues, and there really is not much pending right now. Not at all. So getting them to repeal ASFA or to make a dramatic change in ASFA is really, really huge. So, okay, so anything else going on? Anybody else know anything else going on? The Texas thing, that is such an awesome legislative hearing. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of that and then trying to post a few clips for you on that. On my personal page, not on Family Forward, I don't know if any of you saw my standoff with Wells Fargo, but I told them I wasn't going to wear a mask. I couldn't wear a mask anymore, so we had a little bit of a standoff, but it ended up turning out okay, but I did share it with everybody. All right, anybody else have anything they want to share or talk about? Let me know here. I'm getting chilly out here. Luke says, hi, Gladiator. Oh, hey, Luke. Yeah. Oh, my gosh, Jenny, those boys are so handsome. They're growing up so much. I just love when I'm involved with a family and we have some success, although it's not always all the success we want. I just so enjoy seeing those kids grow up. And I don't know if you saw, but a couple days ago, I posted a picture with me and Lucy, the stolen baby. And she's such a happy baby, and she's with mommy, and we're hanging in there with her. Director of DSS, oh my gosh, trying to adopt your child. Are you kidding me, Jesse? That is so horrid. Can I pull the Sunshine Law to get a report of investigation completed of when foster parents were accused of abuse? Now, Laura, you should try. Okay, you should do that. You should do a records request on that. They're going to say no, and then you might be able to force that if you can show an interest in that. So I think this is one involving your grandchild, if I'm not sure, I'm not certain. But if the foster parents, and if you have a child in, oh, Jesse, that is so horrible. If you have a child that is in foster care and they are abused or you see a bruise on them, you call it in and you report it right away. You report it. Yes, Laura, you need to report that. Oh, Patsy, yeah. I mean, this termination of parental rights. Oh, Jesse. So, I mean, I don't know what I can do for you, but I don't know if you messaged me through Messenger and told me your story. But do that if you haven't. I'm not sure how I can help, but sometimes even just exposing it does some help, and sometimes it does some damage. But I'm all about transparency and telling the story. So I'm doing that. I'm trying to figure out a good format for me to do that a little bit better. It gets worse. They took out new babies fraudulently so she could keep the babies. What? She took out new babies fraudulently so she could keep the babies. I don't quite understand that. It was reported 4 times and they just won't release any information, but they did remove them, and I have a funny feeling, some reason to believe it could be, yikes, Laura. So, Laura, you need to push for those reports. I don't know where they are now, but oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I would go legislative if I were you as well. And I mean, these legislators are new babies, so she could keep her. Oh my gosh. Oh, Jesse, that's horrible. So Laura, I don't know if you've tried to work with state legislators. You definitely have to write this story down and go to your state reps. And also look for the committee in your state. I think you are, I'm trying to remember what state you're in. Oklahoma? Are you in Oklahoma? Hey, Marianne. You need to find out who your rep is, and then you also need to find out the committee that handles that type of information. I will also tell you, Laura, there is in every state a citizen review panel, review board, review panel that they're required to do out of the federal government. Missouri, okay. You need to find out who that is. Type in, you can look at the federal website, go through the Administration of Children and Families, ACF, or Children's, what's it called? Children's, just type in Administration of Children and Families Citizens Review Panels, and you can, Lucy was so happy. I love to see her. And find out who your Missouri Citizens Review Panel is. You got to start spreading that case out. You've got to start getting your case put in the hands of a lot of people. That's the only hope you have right now. So, I will send you my story. Google my story. My Missouri mom conflict of interest. Yeah, Jesse, that needs to be shared. I don't know if it's been reported anywhere, if it's gotten out. You know, Megan Fox does some stories like this too. Yeah, baby Lucy is awesome. She is like the happiest baby ever. She has no idea. Baby Lucy has no idea how we, like the grown-ups in her life, have literally saved her life. Have totally saved her life. She's just like so oblivious to it, and it's so beautiful because she's like so innocent. Yeah, she's contacted Megan Fox. Okay, well, stay on it with Megan. I mean, Megan loves these kind of stories. I saw something else that she posted recently. So, yeah, Laura, I've seen some of your lives, watched some of it. Of course, you know, we chatted with Lucinda, but you've got to get that story in the hands of as many people as you can in the political arena. And then as you pass it out, you need to let them know. So you need to get it to the commissioner, and then you need to get it to your state legislator, and you need to tell your state legislator you've put it in the hands of the commissioner. And then you need to then you need to go to the Citizens Review Panel and tell them that you've put it in the hands of your state legislator. And so just keep passing it around, keep passing it out there. my magistrate stepped down because she was dating my ex-lawyer, and now they're married. I'm just like, this is like, it's worse than a drama. It's worse. We the Parents podcast. Oh yeah, Chris, I'm going to be on Chris's show on April the 26th, Chris Cole's show, We the Parents podcast. So he's going to share that with us and share that on Family Forward Project. And also, if people want to do kind of an interview with me, and I'm just setting that up on Zoom so we can do some interviews and just record them, I will do that as well, so I can help you get that story out there. My magistrate never read my exhibits. I filed a motion to review exhibits. It's horrible what they do. What can I say? I mean, you have to be, when you work with a judge, I mean, you've got to be crystal clear with a judge. I mean, I had a hearing today. It was not anything related to a child case. It was something totally different. But I mean, and it turned out fine, but you have to just like lay it out step by step by step. So I know other good news, we're about to be TPR'd on our older twins. If we don't do it voluntarily, they will take our younger 5-month-old. Why were they removed in the first place, Jesse? Why were they removed? Please do an interview with you. Okay, Laura, we're going to set that up, okay? I'm not sure I think you have my cell phone number, so text me, and we're going to set a time to do that. I've got an interview tomorrow afternoon. I'm interviewing a doctor in East Tennessee who is treating, I hear that it's all over a gag order that could be put on us and will be jailed. Oh my gosh. I don't know why were the babies removed? Why were the twins removed, Jesse? You need to tell me that. I was gagged as well. Yeah, this gag order stuff is ridiculous. They are illegal. But, so here I go again. I totally lost my train of thought. But y'all are great, and thank you for engaging. They took the new babies based on altered fraudulent drug screens. Okay, so listen, hey Whitney. Okay, the drug screen issue is huge, okay? I did a little video on that the other day, I think I was going to. Yes, I did. I did a little video on that. The drug screen issue has really got to be challenged. You've got to look at those very carefully. You've got to know how to object to them. So, hey buddy, you want to say hello?
Yeah.
There's the master man.
Hello.
There's your next YouTube video game hero.
I named it Creedcraft for some reason.
You named it what?
Creedcraft.
What?
Yeah, there's no famous YouTuber called Creedcraft.
Creedcraft?
Yeah, he has 3 million views.
I thought it was T Creates. Is that you?
Yeah, but T-Series only has
Well, you're just a kid. What do you expect?
T-Series only has
2 subscribers?
He only has 2 million subscribers. Creedcraft has 3.14 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna change the name anyway.
That's what everybody wants these days. I knew if we were fit enough to have healthy babies, then they would have to give our older twins back. So they just put, fraudulent drug screens. Okay, yeah, Jesse. They knew. Okay, so yeah, I will read that. Actually, why don't you send me a link to your story in 100%. The state has set up a Oh my gosh, one reason. Okay, I'm having trouble opening your... Headed to this day, eye for an eye. Okay, I've lost my comments here. They could never gag me. You are right, Laura. I'm totally with you. Ask Wendy about that. I mean, we did have to shut up for about 2 months because we were like telling a story every week, and they went crazy. They went crazy, didn't they, Wendy? They went so crazy. Okay, have healthy babies. I can't see the rest of us. They would put fraudulent drug screens on us in order to remove our new set of twins so that the director of the state can keep our older set of twins. Now we are without all 4. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yeah, that we need to get into that story. I'm working with a family who's completed their case plan 100%. The state has set up a TPR hearing for one reason. They misused the law by claiming because the kids have been in care for 18 months, the law says they have to terminate. It's ridiculous. State of Kentucky is so corrupt. Okay, so you know that is, who said that? So Melinda, yeah, thank you for saying that. So the law, the federal law, is that they have to commence a TPR within, if the kids have been in care 15 of 22 months, but that is not grounds for termination. So I would really like to see that petition and see what they said on the actual grounds for termination. And the grounds for termination are crazy. I'm really trying to work on it. I've really just put this out to God in the universe to say I really need to be in a family policy position so I can just work more on the laws and the policies and just kind of collectively handle those issues. How can we get Ohio to allow parental rights after TPR? See that many states at 13 are revising their laws. So I haven't seen revisions in that, Patsy. I do know that there's a weird law, and I can't remember which state it is, but it says that, I think it's kind of a crazy law, though it doesn't make sense, because it's about if a child has reached the age of 13 or something and they want to be reunited with their biological parents, they can petition for that. But it's like, what 13-year-old is even going to know that's a law? It's kind of a nonsense law. I doubt that anybody's really do it. Okay, Jesse, I will look at that. But the laws are so crazy in every state, it's just really hard to even piece them together. And we have got to get to a point where we kind of centralize like what family policy should be and then support that. Because I see these little bits and pieces and these hearings going on all over the United States, but they still don't totally connect the dots. Just like I was talking about with Texas, they have this big hearing in Texas, but they don't even mention the financial conflict of interest. They don't even mention that these hospitals are getting millions of dollars from these agencies for kids who are in care. And then this care team, which is a crock, because half the time the care team is only one person, the abuse pediatrician. They don't even have a care team anymore. It's not like they have a book of specialists. And then they complain about, well, we don't want the parents to go out and get a specialist if we don't agree, if it's not a qualified specialist, because they know there's only a handful of doctors out there who will step up in behalf of parents. I mean, literally 5. There's like 5 doctors in the United States who will, rights are terminated and granted 100%. Yeah, there are like 5 doctors in the entire United States that will testify on behalf of parents and say that these child abuse pediatricians are wrong. I mean, we can't even find them, and that's another thing that needs to be centralized so that we can make sure parents have proper defense testimony before the court. They don't want the public to know about the money. They don't even want the legislators to know about the money. It is a huge evil entity. They're crazy. They're just crazy. When I was looking at, I don't know what I was looking at. I went on the DCS website. I was looking for post-adoption resources because I have a couple families that are post-adoption that they're having really severe problems with kids who are disrupting. And I went to the staff page, and there's Deborah Lowen. Yep. I could tell you a real horror story. I think she's responsible for one mother's death because of the trauma and that she caused, the PTSD that she caused on her. Her mother ended up having a brain aneurysm. It's been years ago, but because of a false diagnosis where she claimed this mother had crushed her infant twins with her bare hands. TPR for my youngest daughter, not my other 2 children. Patsy, how crazy is that? What, you're fit to raise 2 kids but not for the other one? See, this makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. Yeah, so they say Lucy can't go home because they haven't adjudicated her case. Not because there's any safety issues, not because mother has any positive drug tests. Oh yeah, and other good news I want to tell you before I forget. So Angel and Kyle's 2 kids are transitioning home Those two little sweet girls have been disrupted for 2 freaking years, and they're so little. I can't wait to meet them. But we are now on unsupervised time with the parents, and another couple weeks we'll be going to a trial home visit. Yeah, they do pick and choose, exactly. All right, so any other goings-ons? That's about it, really. I work a lot. I'm exhausted. Like I said, it's probably just now. No, I'm literally working until like 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's really ridiculous. I just left today because I was like, I'm exhausted. I finished in court, picked up something at the office, and said, I'm going home. So... Okay, so I appreciate your support. I am going to tell you, if you have not done a support Connie form, or you need to do it in some other format, you just want to type it up and sign it and send it to me, I do need your support. I do just want you to share, write down like just how I've kind of helped you through a situation, encouraged you, given you some guidance, kind of just kept you going, how sharing information and keeping people up to date on what's going on in this specific field is so important and so critical. So I really need your support, and I appreciate that. I'm doing this because I give away lots of my time and trying to redirect and get a family policy council going and trying to make that work for us, because if we don't do something, and I'm really reaching out now to families who have not been affected, and I'm kind of, my story to them is like, look, maybe your family hasn't been affected by this system, so do I get my children back? Should I expect DHS to return her later? Well, I'm going to read that comment again. But people all around you are being affected by this system. Okay, Michael, so if I do get my children back, shouldn't I expect DCS to return later? Well, I don't know all the details, but yes, Michael, you should always expect them to show up again later. One of the moms who was testifying in Texas talked about her PTSD and how afraid, oh, thank you, Jenny, thank you so much, and how afraid she was. Typos, you don't judge us. No, I don't judge you, Freedom. But here I go. Reading comments and trying to do a narrative just don't go well together. That's why I was like, okay, just give me your comments. So I was talking about needing your support because I spend a lot of time not only trying to practice a little law, because the COVID pandemic and everything else has kind of reduced my caseload, which is not really all bad because it was way too heavy, but it also, the children are being abused. What is her? Yeah. So just do that for me so that I can just really fight them back, because this is all about judges complaining, and it's all about things that they do that I'm just trying to show. So, okay, it's getting dark out here. The sun is going down. It's so good to see you and talk to you. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of time with me. Mary Yates, please reach out to her. The children are being abused. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to talk soon. I look forward to seeing Kimberly and Kathleen and Whitney and Marissa and Maureen in just a couple weeks here in DC, and I'm sure we'll be doing some lives from there. So keep posted for that. You might want to put it on your calendar to keep an eye open for us, and we'll be talking about some of the things that we're brainstorming about. Okay, love you all. Thank you, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.